Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Got the Powers of Zen Aku from Power Rangers Wild Force movie. Before we start, please go support Angel Gonzalez 753 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. A young boy who suffered abuse from his family and people who claimed to be his friends, making him wish for death, but in his desire to die, he will find a mask that will make his life change completely, leading him to the path of the wolf. Clarifications. Issei knew Rias before. Issei was mistreated by his brother and the Sitri Clan. Sona became arrogant and overbearing because she had Hakuryuuko. Only 3 chias from the Citri Clan appreciated Issei. Iseeixharem. Issei is not the reincarnation of Zen Aku, he found the cursed mask and knew how to control his powers. Dark Wild Zord and other Wild Zords will appear. Legend. Bu Academy was a real battlefield, while in the center of the place 2 groups of young people were facing some strange 3-headed dogs and a couple of crazy people. One was a pale man with red eyes and a lot of black wings, and the other was a blonde man with wings of fire. Rias. We will never let them get away with this, damn it, said a rather angry Redeed. Bacabal. And who is going to stop us from doing it? It will be you or the stupid conceited heiress Citri with her Della powerful Della Hakuryuuko Makoto Haidu, said the one with the black wings mockingly. Makoto. Damn you, I'll teach you that nobody messes with me, said an annoying brown-haired boy while summoning some strange blue wings. Razor. Stupid, you will never learn, he said mockingly, wrapping his fist in flames, hitting the brown-haired boy, sending him to the ground. Sona. Makoto screamed in shock, seeing her strongest piece of her almost dead. Razor. You're just good at it, you're just a little show-off, he said mockingly. Bacabal. You're right, I don't know what the Citri heiress was bragging about. If his piece is good for nothing, he couldn't continue, because a black-haired boy with a red gauntlet on his left hand appeared above him, hitting him hard, sending him to the ground. Razor. Miserable will pay for this, he couldn't continue because the same boy shot a beam of energy from his arm. Angel. And you 2 idiots don't forget that we are here, said the boy. Rias. Damn, we can't hold out much longer, we have to find a way to defeat them, she said nervously. Zenobia. Gremory heiress, you and your queen go help the Hakuryuuko, I will help the rest of your dear face the Cerberus. Yes, let's go, Akeno, she said seriously, while the black-haired girl agreed and they went to where the black-haired girl was. Razor. Damn Hakuryuuko, if it hadn't been for Rias would be my personal bore, but it doesn't matter when all this ends, she and the others will be, he said furiously, throwing a large flame. Angel. I will do everything possible so that she can be happy, he said seriously while hitting the flame, dispersing the fire. Bacabal. Fool, he said mockingly, hitting the boy in the stomach, making him spit blood. Rias, Akeno, Angel, they screamed in shock. Angel. Draw Drake, we have to use the balance breaker, he said weakly as he stood up. Drake, you're crazy, if we use it you could die, he said euphorically. Rias. Angel, don't do anything crazy, we can find a solution, she couldn't continue because the black-haired boy interrupted her. Angel. I have no choice, I have to defeat them, I have to protect you, I promised, he said while turning his head looking at the Redeed with a look full of determination. Rias. Issei said with a sad voice. Angel. That day when we never heard from him again, I promised him that I would protect his great love, and I will do it even if it costs me my life. Drake activated the balance breaker, he shouted with all his determination. Drake Welshdraw could not continue because a strange music started playing. Akeno. What is that music? She said confused while everyone present looked everywhere. Tsubaki. Where does it come from, he said without understanding. Hineko. The real question is who is producing it, said Alert. Everyone was still surprised because the music kept playing and it was getting louder, suggesting that whatever was producing it was getting closer, but what no one noticed was that a certain crowd was trembling. Bacabal. This is not possible, he said scared. Razor. Bacabal, what the hell is wrong with you? He said, not understanding his ally's fear. Bacabal. This can't be true, it's just an old legend, it can't be happening, he said, totally scared. Razor. Could you calm down and explain what the hell is wrong with you? He said seriously. Bacabal. You don't understand, we are in danger, scared scream. Razor. But what are you talking about? He said without understanding. Bacabal. A long time ago in ancient times there were rumors of an ancient guardian of the world, a being hidden in the woods, but it was said that you could know that he was nearby by a melody that resonated throughout the place, and it is said that if you hear it and you are the one he is looking for, you can say goodbye to this world, and although there will be nothing that can save you, he said sweating profusely. Riasir. What nonsense is that? I circa N''T believe that you believe in those silly children's legends, and what was his name, Tito, or Fido, he said mockingly. Bacabal. His name was Z, he couldn't continue because a voice spoke. Zen Aku, a rather frightening voice spoke, causing everyone to turn their heads to where some trees were, seeing a strange being with a humanoid appearance, but with some wolf-like details and a strange weapon in his hand. "Razor? It's real," he said in shock. "Zen Aku? You two are planning to start a stupid war that will cause thousands of deaths and hurt this world, and I will not allow it," he said seriously. "Razor? Don't make me laugh right now, I'll kill you and end that stupid legend," he said, launching into the attack. "Picabiel? Don't be stupid, he'll kill you," he said, terrified. "Zen Aku? Stupid crescent blade, crescent wave," he said, launching several cuts that hit the blonde squirrely, sending him to the ground. "Razor? Why can't I heal myself? What's happening?" he said without understanding. "Zen Aku? My crescent blade has the peculiarity of eliminating all the magical power of the opponent. Without having magical power, your regeneration ends," he said seriously while walking slowly towards the blonde. "Razor Picabiel, help me," he said, scared. Picabiel, terrified, only looked at the blonde, who looked at him scared and spoke to him repeatedly, only to look at the strange being, and then took out his wings and took flight, leaving the blonde in shock. "Zen Aku? They never learn, running away is useless, crescent blade, crescent wave," he said, seriously, launching an attack that hit the crow's back, sending it to the ground. "Rias? Amazing," she said incredulously, like the rest. "Zen Aku? I think you can take care of it now," he said, putting away his weapon. "Angel? Thank you," he said, lowering his head. "Zen Aku? Why do you say that? I just did my job," he said seriously. "Angel? I know, but if you hadn't shown up, we'd probably be dead," he said tiredly. "Zen Aku? You're welcome and you have heart, keep going like this, you'll go far," he said calmly, as he took out a strange device that began to produce his music again, disappearing among the trees. "Sona? That being has to be in my entourage," she said seriously. "Rias? Thank you for saving our lives." In the deepest part of the forest, we can see Zen Aku lying on a rock while remembering what he had just heard moments before his appearance. "Angel? I have no choice, I have to defeat them, I have to protect you, I promised," he said while turning his head, looking at the deed with a look full of determination. "Rias?" Issei said with a sad voice. "Angel? That day when we never heard from him again, I promised him that I would protect his great love, and I will do it even if it cost me my life." Drake activated the balance breaker. "Zen Aku? Even though time has passed, they still remember me," he said while looking at the moon, and suddenly his appearance changed to that of a brown-haired boy. "Isei? Rias? Sad life." We saw in the deepest part of the forest a brown-haired boy who stopped at what seemed to be a stream, washing some fruits that he carried with him, and then began to eat them, while he remembered what happened the day before when he saved the demons from Cadre and Razor, but more than that, memories came to him of that day when his life changed forever. Flashback. 10 years ago. We see a little brown-haired boy playing in the forest until a little black-haired girl, along with 4 other girls and a brown-haired boy who looked at him with annoyance. "Isei? What do you want?" he said, somewhat annoyed. "Makoto? Don't you dare talk to us like that," he said, giving him a strong knee in the face. "Isei? What the hell is wrong with you?" screamed in pain. "Sona? Keep quiet," she said angrily, launching a water attack that hit the boy in the face. "Makoto? We'll finally get rid of trash like you," said seriously while cracking his knuckles. For a couple of hours all the children beat and humiliated the chestnut tree in inhuman ways until they finally reached where there was a waterfall. "Makoto? You're just a stain on the family," he said seriously, kicking the poor boy in the face covered in blood. Iseei, he said with the little strength he had left. "Sona? Rias will be happy when we give her the news of your death," she said seriously while Makoto threw the brown-haired boy down the waterfall. Then flashback. "Isei? It seems that after all Rias and Angel were never with them, but now I am not the same," he said while taking his Zen Aku form. Flashback. After falling into the waterfall, the chestnut tree's body floated for hours until a strange being with the appearance of a wolf picked him up and healed him completely until he was able to regain consciousness. "Isei? Who are you?" he said, scared seeing the being staring at him. "Zen Aku? Don't be scared, kid. I was the one who took care of you and cured you after I found you dying in the river," he said seriously while giving him a grilled fish. "Isei? Thank you," he said as he stood next to a campfire and started eating. "Zen Aku? Tell me, boy, do you have a name?" he said seriously. "Isei? My name is Iseeixharem, it's just Isei," he said, something sad. "Zen Aku? Well, Isei, my name is Zen Aku, the guardian of nature," he said calmly. "Isei? Really?" he said in amazement while biting his fish. "Zen Aku? Tell me why you were so hurt, or almost rather dead," he said curiously while Isei just looked down sadly. "Isei? For being a disgrace to my family," he said with tears while the wolf sharpened his gaze. "Zen Aku? A disgrace, but you're just a child," he said seriously. "Isei? But my brother turned out to be a being called Hakuryuuko or something like that, and I am nothing, besides he is with a demon who will inherit a clan of demons, and I am just a simple human, so they got rid of me," he said, wiping his tears. "Zen Aku. So you're alone," he said with some sadness. "Issei alone." Then flashback. "Zen Aku. Since that day, the master took care of me and trained me to be his successor," he said nostalgically, as he remembered the first time he saw his master in human form. "Zen Aku. Ready to really meet me, Issei," he said calmly, seeing the excited boy. "Issei. Yes, master," he said happily as he saw a big flash and then saw a black-haired man with a pair of white locks. "Merrick," surprised Issei. "This is my name is Merrick." "Zen Aku. Years have passed since his departure from him, but I will faithfully continue his mission from him as the new Zen Aku, and I will completely master the curse," he said calmly, while a strange wolf-shaped shadow looked at him among the trees. "Zen Aku. Although I'm not the only one who misses him, right wolf?" The cult club. We can see Angel entering the place with Zenovia looking at a rather pensive Rias, something that confused the blue-haired girl, but for the rest of the group, it didn't seem strange to them. "Rias. Irina's gone, right?" she said without looking at the boys. "Angel. That's right, we'll accompany her to the airport," he said calmly. "Rias. I see, tell me Zenovia, are you really sure about the decision you made?" she said seriously. "Zenovia. The truth is that at first I was a little hesitant, but now I'm really determined to be part of the demons, although I hope God forgives me," she said holding her head. "Rias. I'm glad, I hope you have a great performance." She couldn't continue because the club door opened, revealing Sona and her Della group. "Sona. And as I imagined you are not doing anything," she said seriously. "Rias. Now what the hell do you want, Sona?" she said with disgust. "Sona. I thought you were looking for that Zen Aku guy," she said seriously. "Rias. As I told you, be thankful that I saved your life, and more than looking for new pieces for your group, you shouldn't train it," she said seriously. "Sona. I don't know what you're talking about," she said seriously. "Rias. What I talked about before the faction meeting was our first rating game, and it's you against me," she said seriously. "Makoto. Wow, what a great threat, and you only added one piece to your group, but it won't be enough to stop me," he said arrogantly. "Angel. Hey, you're so strong that you already learned not to be defeated by a blow like what happened against Kakabiel," he said seriously, bothering the brown-haired boy. "Makoto. How scary, don't tell me you're doing it for that idiot Ice." He couldn't continue because the black-haired man hit him in the face, sending him to the ground. "Hiba. Enough, my friend, it's not worth it," he said seriously, holding the black-haired man. "Angel. In the raiding game you better find a place to hide because I will look for you and finish you off. I will take revenge for all the suffering you made Issei go through," he said with pure hatred. "Rias. You better leave," she said with contempt, bothering Sona who had no choice but to leave. "Hiba. You're calmer now," he said seriously. "Angel. Ah damn it," screamed in frustration, hitting the wall of the place. "Rias. Please calm down now, we can't do anything now," she said like she started to cry. "Akeno. Come on Rias, calm down," she said while comforting her friend. "Rias. I can't Akeno, I miss him," she said while crying. "Zenovia. I see that Haidu Issei was also very important to you," she said somewhat calmly. "Angel. I guess it was very important for Irina too," he said seriously. "Zeovia. If she always spoke wonders of him, what happened to her was that she went and looked for that idiot Makoto and came back with a sad look and didn't say anything," she said confused. "Angel, he died." Bremery vs Citri a half. The large coliseum could be seen where a large part of the demonic faction was expectant since the Mau sisters were about to face each other to decide who would be the absolute owner of the Kuo territory, and not only that, the pride and prestige of both families was at stake. "Rias. Ready guys," she said a little nervously. "Akeno. Calm down Rias, we are ready, and it is not the first raiding game we have had," she said a little calmer than her king. "Hiba. She's right, it's the second one and we won the first one," he said, trying to calm the atmosphere that felt tense. "Rias. Okay, let's see, we're 7 against 9, they're 2 pieces ahead of us," she said nervously. "Angel. Yes, you're dragons," he said seriously. "Zenovia. So what's the strategy?" she said seriously. "Rias. Well, the battle scene will be the academy, our bases will be our club and the council, we will place ourselves in pairs, Kiba and Kaneko around the gym area, then Zenovia and Akeno through the entrance, try to get to Sona cautiously without being seen, Asa will stay with me and Angel, are you sure you want to go alone through the central courtyard? It is the most exposed and dangerous place," she said seriously. "Angel. I already told you that I will be the one to face that idiot," he said seriously. "Rias. I understand," and she couldn't continue because they began to be teleported appearing in their club getting ready for battle. Rafia. Welcome to the start of the ratings games season with the confrontation between Rias Gremory and Sona Citri. Remember, if you eliminate all the pieces, you will be awarded 10 points, but if you get a checkmate, you will be given 20, she said through a loudspeaker while many people cheered. Rias. The time has come. Human world unknown location. We can see Issei in his Zen Aku form walking through the dense forest, stopping to see a poor deer stuck between the rocks, helping it out, and then seeing how it looked at him lightly and then left, leaving the lone wolf satisfied for helping the animal. Always showing that pure heart that you have, isn't that right? Said a female voice behind him. Zen Aku? What are you doing outside the Princess Shayla Animarium? He said curiously, turning around to see a beautiful black-haired woman who was looking at him with a warm smile. Shayla. You know I don't have much to do in the animarium without the Wild Zord, she said calmly, although she had a sad smile. Zen Aku. Your face now makes me wonder if the Wild Zords had returned, but I didn't say it seriously. Shayla. I still don't know why they disappeared after the last war against the Ord, she said with melancholy. Zen Aku. If everyone disappeared leaving only my dark Wild Zords, he said seriously while showing 3 crystals. Shayla. I still haven't lost hope that one day they will return, she said hopefully. Zen Aku. I hope so, he said calmly as he turned around. Shayla. What's wrong? You don't want to talk to me anymore? She said curiously. Zen Aku. I wouldn't love to, but I must continue taking care of the forests, he said without looking at the woman. Shayla. You still don't fully control your power, do you? She said calmly. Zen Aku. I see that nothing escapes you, princess, he said seriously. Shayla. You don't have to hide that from me, Issei, it's normal. Merrick told you that the power of the mask is very strong, but you have what it takes to get rid of the curse, she said calmly as she took the wolf's face, turning it into that of the brown-haired boy. Issei. But what happens if the darkness takes over me? I don't want to hurt people, nor do I want to fail my master, he said sadly. Shayla. Of course not, Isekai, you will achieve it, she said, looking him straight in your eyes. Issei. Do you really believe it? He said confused. Shayla, of course. Underworld. The battle between the Gremory and Citri continued to be a relentless battle between both sides, but the good thing for the Gremory is that Angel managed to eliminate Saji and Kiba easily defeated Ryakusaka, a Sona bishop, leaving things equal for both sides. Rias. Well, we managed to recover from the disadvantage, she said seriously. Rafia. Knight Citri Tsubasa Yura, Knight Gremory's Inovia Quarta have been eliminated, said in a loud voice. Asia. But you Angel-san is standing in the middle of the place without moving, she said looking out a window. Rias. He's waiting for you, she said seriously. Angel. The longer it will take to get out, he thought seriously. Greg. Watch out to your right, he said seriously, while the black-haired man jumped back dodging what looked like a kick. Angel. That's their plan, to attack me with different pieces until I get tired, he said seriously, watching a brunette with pigtails who was taking her leg out of a hole she made in the ground. Haruko. I will defeat you in honor of the Citri family, she said seriously, threatening him. Angel. Get lost, shorty, I won't waste my time with you, he said coldly, turning around and looking directly at the school. Haruko. Whoever calls her a dwarf will pay for it, she said, launching herself into the attack again. Angel. I said I won't waste my time with you, he said angrily, hitting her on her knee, making her double over in pain, but before she could react this guy grabbed her from behind her, launching a dragon shoot at her face. Rafia. Pawn Citri Haruko Nomura has been eliminated, she said seriously. Angel Makoto Haidu, get out now, damn it, otherwise I'll make you leave, he shouted furiously, charging a dragon shoot 5 times bigger than normal, launching it against the school, destroying a large part of it. A huge explosion formed a huge curtain of smoke that blocked the visibility of the black-haired man, who could barely see how 2 shadows ran through the smoke to attack him, managing to narrowly dodge them, but couldn't avoid something brushing him on the cheek. Angel. I'm not surprised, as always, a coward hiding among the skirts of his companions, he said seriously, while he saw a young Redeed and a young albino who looked at him seriously. Makoto. Who is hiding? He said seriously while he was on top of the girls with his blue wings spread out. Angel. That was the plan from the beginning, to attack me with a couple of unimportant pieces and then attack me in a group. Am I so strong that they have such an elaborate plan just against me? He said seriously. Makoto. Well, you see, Sona takes very seriously that you are a danger. The other pathetic members of your master's clan do not require us to try so hard to defeat them, he said. After all, they will look for Sona to win, but the question is, where is Sona? He said, amused. Angel. Enough chatter, you want a 3vs1, well that seems fair to me, he said seriously, while his booster gear began to shine. Dreg. Welsh Dragon Booster Gear Balance Breaker Scale Male. Drake's voice resounded as the field lit up with a red light and the black-haired man was covered in red armor. Angel. Ready to play. Gremory vs Citri 2 halves. All the spectators looked in disbelief as the Grimoire pawn had been able to reach the balance breaker of his sacred gear, while the Hakuryuuko, the great pride of the Sitri Clan, the one who would be considered the most powerful bearer of the celestial dragons, had not yet, and what's more, he looked quite intimidated when he saw the appearance of his rival. Angel? What's happening? Why don't you attack me? You have the advantage in numbers. Do it, he said seriously. Momo. We will not lose so easily, she said seriously, creating a magic circle, launching a powerful ray against the black-haired man. Angel. Do an apostrophe T make me laugh, he said with annoyance, hitting the attack with his hand, sending it against a tree. Meguri. You must not let your guard down, she said. She appeared at her side. She was ready to attack her with a katana. Angel. Do you think a simple sword would hurt me? He said seriously while the girl attacked, but when she collided with the boy's armor, the weapon broke. Meguri. Impossible, she said incredulously. Angel. Goodbye, he said seriously while he grabbed her by the head and slammed her violently against the ground. Raphia. Citri Knight Tomo Meguri has been eliminated, she said seriously. Makoto. You beat her so easily, go Hanakai, he said nervously while the girl looked at him scared. Angel. Slow, he said appearing in front of Momo. Momo. It can't be, she said in shock, unable to avoid receiving a powerful blow to the abdomen. Angel. I know you are one of the few people who appreciated Issei, that's why I was fast, he said calmly while holding the girl who slowly began to disappear. Makoto. How is it possible? How the hell did you get so strong? He scared said. Angel with effort. On the other hand, Sona looked completely terrified as her pieces fell, leaving her alone with her queen and her powerful pawn, and something that bothered her was that only one of Ria's pieces was the one that had eliminated most of her entourage, while on the other hand, her queen looked sadly at the boy in red armor because he possibly hated her for what she did to her best friend. Sona. They are not destroying, she said frustrated. Tsubaki. And what can we do if he falls? We are practically on the verge of defeat, he said seriously, looking at his queen angrily. Sona. He can win, I know he will, and then he will humiliate the other pieces of Rias, she said angrily. Tsubaki. And you really think he can do it, she said seriously. Sona. What are you talking about? Of course he will be able to do it after all, she couldn't continue because her queen interrupted her. Tsubaki. Enough, Sona, stop being so blind, she shouted angrily. Sona. Tsubaki, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you talking to me like that? She said angrily. Tsubaki. Because I can't believe you've become so stupid. How can a talker be stronger than someone who trains daily, she said angrily. Sona. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, she said seriously and annoyed. Tsubaki. Don't you see Makoto was a poor lucky devil that when he awakened his sacred gear he showed a high power, but you and your parents were blinded by that stupid display of power and thought that he would be invincible. They never told him to train or improve, and that is why he is weak. On the contrary, Angel, when he awakened his power was half throwing to the low, causing the mockery of the Haidu and the citrus. But what did he do? He trained day after day, blood, sweat and tears, but he never gave up, kept moving forward, and now look at him, he reached a terrifying level, but because he tried hard, she said angrily, while both watched as the black-haired man sat against the trees. Sona. While the two brunettes watched this, the brown-haired boy tried to get up with difficulty, while he watched in fear as the black-haired boy began to walk towards him, and even though he had his helmet on, the brown-haired boy knew that his rival was looking at him with pure hatred. Makoto. Come on, Albion, tell me what nervous I can do to beat him, he said. Albion. What do you want me to tell you? The difference between you is huge and there is nothing we can do. You could give me a part of your body so I can reach the balance breaker, but it would only be for 10 seconds, he said seriously. Makoto. Yes, do it, I will give you my right arm, just do it, he said desperately. Albion. Well, let's do it, he said seriously. Makoto. Ha, now you are finished, everyone will see my immense power, he said euphoric. Angel. Don't tell me you gave some part of your body to the target to give you great power, he said, seriously stopping the boy's euphoria. Makoto. How did you know? He said incredulously. Angel. Ha, you thought I would never know about that. My partner offered it to me a while ago, but I didn't want the easy way. I wanted to get great power on my own without shortcuts, he said seriously. Greg. If I were you, I would stop the Albion conversion, because even if you lend the power to your bear, the little time you give him would be insufficient to defeat my companion, said the dragon's voice seriously from the boy's left arm. Albion. What did you say? You're so confident, he said seriously. Greg. Yes, because in a long time I can tell you that my bearer is the best prepared to fight against yours, he said seriously. Angel. And if that does N''T convince them, I will N''T let them have time to convert him, he said seriously, disappearing from his side and appearing behind him, elbowing him and sending him into a building. Makoto. Damn it, he said, trying to cover himself from the crash, but to his surprise, the black-haired man appeared in front of him, kicking him, sending him flying, but he didn't leave him like that, as he appeared above him, hitting him with both arms, sending him to the ground. Albion. The red one wasn't joking, he's strong, he said seriously, while the boy slowly opened his eyes. Makoto. We can still the brown-haired boy was spitting blood because the black-haired boy fell on top of him, digging his knees into his stomach. Angel. This is for Issei, he said seriously, his armor disappearing, and he began to hit him in the face without mercy. All the spectators watched in shock as the brown-haired boy was mercilessly beaten by the black-haired boy, but they were surprised to see how the black-haired boy began to cry while he hit the boy who could no longer defend himself. Angel. Damn you 1,000 times, damn sniff, give me back my friend, he said without stopping hitting him. Akeno. That's enough, she said while stopping the black-haired boy's arm. Angel. Let me go, Akeno, he said angrily. Akeno. Calm down, she said while hugging him, placing the boy's head on her chest while he cried bitterly. Something like that. Akeno. I know it's hard, but we have to accept it, she said sadly for her partner. Angel. I know, he said bitterly as they both watched the brown-haired boy disappear into particles of light. Rafia. Peon Citri Makoto Hyojadu has been eliminated. Sona. I circa an apostrophe T believe it, she said in shock watching her pawn lose her. Rias. Checkmate, she said seriously while next to Sona was Zenobia with her sword near her neck as well as Kaneko behind her, and Asia was with her familiar pointing at Tsubaki. Tsubaki. I think we lost. Who forests? We can see the lone wolf as he looked at the big city while some doubts were running through his head as he could feel a strange presence, but the strangest thing is that it belonged to a Wild Zord, but he didn't know what caused it. Zen Aku. I don't know who you are, but I know you're there and I will find you. Discovery. Night had come to the city of Ku where it was noticeable that most of its inhabitants were resting peacefully, including the Gremory entourage who was resting after their confrontation against the Sitri Clan, where Rias was also declared the absolute owner of the territory of Ku, but among all the inhabitants, a being could be seen wandering through the cold night. Finishing off one or another renegade demon that appeared before him. Zen Aku. With the arrival of the demons to Ku, this place has become more dangerous, he said seriously, while looking at a female demon with the body of, but the lower part was completely monstrous. Demon. Oh, what an ugly dog that's passing by, don't tell me that you were paralyzed with fear in front of me, said the demon in an arrogant manner. Zen Aku. Just by looking at you I realize that you are a disgusting being, he said seriously while holding his weapon. Demon. Who are you calling disgusting? Damn it, she couldn't continue because the wolf split her in half with a single blow. Zen Aku. Disappear from this world at once, he said seriously while the demon's body began to bleed everywhere. Demon. How was it that he couldn't continue because his head split in half vertically? Zen Aku. Simple cockroaches like you only get in the way of my mission. The next day. We can see a humble house in the suburbs of the city from which a girl with light brown hair was leaving the house on her way to school because of the school uniform she was wearing. Catis. See you, Mom, said the girl closing the door of her home and starting to walk, feeling something strange as if something was watching her. Zen Aku. So you keep a Wild Zord energy, he said from a tree a little far away. Zen Aku. Let's see what makes you special. Ku Academy. All the students arrived at the academy, but the brunette girl arrived at the place somewhat nervous, since during the entire journey, she could feel that she was being watched. Murayama. Hello, Catis, said another brunette girl coming up behind the girl. Catis Kaimu Murayama, don't do that, you scared me, she said. Murayama. You're okay, you look distressed, said her friend worriedly. Catis. I'm sorry, but since I left my house I feel like someone is following me, she said nervously. Murayama. It must be your hallucinations. You've been trying too hard both in training and in class. Maybe you got too carried away and that's why you think someone is watching you. It's best if you take a little break. Why don't you go to the forest after class? It's a very beautiful place where you can free yourself from all the stress you have, she curiously said. Catis. Maybe you're right, I'll go for that break. 8 hours later. After a long day at school, the girl felt that she had to listen to her friend Ella, so she decided to go to the forest to rest a little and forget about all her problems. Catis. What a great idea Murayama had, this place is so peaceful and beautiful, he said while climbing a small hill. The girl was in shock after starting to hear a melody that seemed to come from the same forest, beginning to get scared as she felt the music getting closer to her. Catis. Who's there? She said scared. Zen Aku. I see that you are very skilled, he said while his voice was heard throughout the place. Catis. I don't care who you are, it's better if you show your face, right? I'm not afraid of you, I know kendo, he said while taking a stick. Zen Aku. So you are brave, he said seriously appearing behind a tree. Catis. Who are you? No, what are you? I. The girl, due to the surprise of the shock, did not realize she was walking backwards without realizing that there was a small ravine down which she fell, hitting her head against a rock. The werewolf looked at how the girl was unconscious while bleeding a little from her forehead, so he decided to go down and look at the girl carefully, realizing that she seemed to be a good girl, but he paid more attention to her wounds, cutting a little of her suit to take out some strange herbs and put them on her wound, and then with a piece of cloth he wrapped her forehead. Zen Aku, you're going to be okay. The next day. The Grimoire clan arrived at school, but were very surprised to see several patrols in the school, stopping the students from passing by as they were asking them questions, but their attention was caught by Murayama, who wouldn't stop crying. Asia. Murayama-san, what's wrong? She said, worried about her partner. Murayama. Oh Asia, something terrible has happened. Catis has been missing since yesterday. She did not arrive home, she said with tears in her eyes. Angel. Let's see, it seems the Catis disappeared, he said while his other companions were in shock. Murayama. Yes, sniff, yesterday leaving school was the last time they saw her, and most likely it was my fault, she said with self-hatred. Zenobia. Why do you say that? She said, confused. Murayama. Yesterday she told me that she felt watched, that someone was following her, and I told her that it was her hallucinations, that she should take a break, and I told her to go to the forest, she said with tears. Rias. Hey, calm down, I know you're worried about your friend, but you have to tell this to the officers so they can go look for her, she said seriously. Murayama. I already told you, Grimoire-senpai, but they say they have to wait 72 hours to start a real search. For now they can only ask the students if they saw her, he said sadly. Zenobia. How terrible. She couldn't continue because Sona appeared with a megaphone. Sona. Due to the events with the student Catis and the latest reports of disappearances that have arisen in recent days in Ku, the decision has been made to suspend classes for the rest of the week. We kindly ask you to return to your home, she said through the megaphone. Rias. This is getting more and more mysterious, she said seriously. Giba. I think we should go home, he said seriously. Rias. If it's the safest thing, well Murayama, I think you should do the same, she said seriously. Murayama. Yes, I will do that, he said sadly. Angel. But you, go home ahead. I was going to go buy some things for my computer after school, and now that this problem has come up, I will take advantage of the time. See you later, he said as he began to walk in another direction. Rias. Okay, see you later. Greg. What the hell are you doing? Your computer parts come to you by mail, he said seriously. Angel. I know, but what happened with Catis and the other disappearances has intrigued me, and if I can help find Catis, then that's fine, he said in his head. Greg. So you're going to the forest, he said seriously. Angel. Maybe I can find her there. Forest outside Ku. We can see Zen Aku sitting next to the girl's body who remained unconscious after so many hours, and the wolf had to take care of her all this time because he felt responsible for what happened to the girl. Zen Aku. I wonder how long you plan to sleep, bearer of the wild eye, the wolf screamed while putting his hands on his head. Zen Aku. Damn, I have to control myself, I have to keep control, he said while kneeling in pain. Angel. I heard something, he said seriously while running at full speed. Greg. It looked like someone screaming and suffering, he said seriously. Angel. We must give ourselves a pry. He couldn't continue because he saw Zen Aku in front of him and Catis at his side. Zen Aku. Largate, euphoric scream. Angel. Catis, you did that to Catis, he said angry and confused. Zen Aku. Go quickly, take the girl. I'm not. He couldn't continue because he has transformed into a human. Angel. You are human. He could not continue because an image came to his mind. Angel, Iseei said in disbelief. Zen Aku. I told you to go away, he shouted angrily, taking his form again, launching a cut at the boy's chest. Angel. Wait, he said while lying on the ground with his chest bleeding. Zen Aku. Next time we see each other I'll finish you off, demon, he said with a darker voice than usual as he left the place. Angel. Wait, Iseei. The strange power is born. The black-haired boy lay on the ground while bleeding from his chest after Zen Aku's attack, but despite the immense pain caused by said attack, it was the least of the boy's concerns, since he still couldn't believe that his best friend, that young man for whom I cried so many times, was alive. Greg. Comrade, mate, answer, are you okay? He said with concern. Angel. Drake is alive. Iseei was alive, he said while trying to get up, but it was a mix of emotions. Greg. Buddy, I don't know that. We can't be sure if that boy is your friend. They have a certain resemblance, but we can't be sure of anything. Now we have to talk to the Grimoire so they can help you, he said seriously. Bajel. You're right, but let's keep this a secret for now, he said seriously while a magic circle appeared in his ear. Rias. Angel, what's wrong? she said curiously through the circle. Angel? Hello Butchu, could you come to my location? I'm very badly injured, he said weakly. Rias, what the hell happened to you? She screamed worriedly. Angel? It's a long story, he said weakly. Rias? Hold on, I'll be right there with Asia, she said nervously, cutting off the call. Greg? What will you do? What explanation will you give him? He said seriously. Angel? I don't know, but I wonder what he was doing with Catis, he said seriously. Greg? It's very strange, but look, it seems that she was hurt and he helped her, he said seriously, while the boy leaned on a tree looking at the girl. Angel? You're right, that thing on his head seems to be part of his suit, he said curiously as he watched the entire entourage appear in front of him. Bekeno? But what happened to you? She said worriedly as she and Rias and Asia ran to help him. Angel? A renegade, that happened, he said in pain while Asia began to heal him. Hineko? Catis senpai said confused, capturing the attention of the rest of the entourage. Rias? But what kind of renegade was he to leave you in that state, and why is Catis here? She said confused. Angel? Well, Catis's disappearance intrigued me a little, and I decided to come to the forest to see if I could find some clue to her whereabouts, and I found her, but before I could move her to make her react, the demon attacked me and caught I off guard, and that's why I ended up like this, but it could have ended worse, he said seriously while Kiba helped him. Zenobia? Worse than you talk about, she said confused like the rest. Angel? That bastard was about to finish me off, but Zen Aku appeared and he saved me again, he said looking away. Rias? He's still in Ku, she said confused. Angel? I don't know, the only thing he did was exterminate the demon and helped Catis a little. It seems that he suffered a blow to the head, or I don't know, he was also going to help me, but I told him to go and that I would talk to my mistress so that I could recover, and he just nodded and left, he said calmly. Kiba? Wow, that being is incredible, he said thoughtfully. Hineko? What is this? She said curiously as she approached Catis, seeing a strange sphere that looked like a marble. Rias? I don't know, it must be from Catis, she said curiously looking at the strange artifact. Angel? Yes, you are sure, so if you do not mind, I will take it, just like her parents must be very worried, he said calmly, taking the strange sphere and walking towards the girl. Rias? Surely you can go alone, she said curiously. Angel? Of course, thanks to Asia I feel much better, he said calmly as he put the girl on his back and began to walk, while the Grimoires felt that the boy was speaking a little nervously. Forest location unknown. We can see Zen Aku kneeling in front of a lake while he gave the ground a small blow in clear frustration and pain after what happened. Zen Aku? I can't believe I attacked him, he said frustrated. Angel? Wait, Issei, the black-haired boy's voice resonated in the mind of the wolf who took his human form. Issei. Now he knows who I am. Streets of Ku. We see the boy walking calmly with the girl on his back while he had a conversation with the being inside him. Greg. You were very clever, it seems that you managed to deceive them, but what will you do now? He said curiously. Angel? I'll look for him and talk to him. I know he tried to kill me, but I could see that something was wrong with him. He didn't seem to be the same, he said seriously. Greg. That's true, he didn't look like the same calm and calculating being we met the first time. This time he seemed more aggressive, he looked like an animal, he said seriously. Catis? What happened to me where I am, she said confused. Angel? I see you're already awake, he said calmly. Catis? Angel senpai, what's happening, where is it? Ah, there's my head, she said in pain. Angel? You don't remember anything of what happened to you, he said curiously. Catis? No, I just remember that I was in the forest and from one moment to the next, a strange melody began to sound throughout the place, but then darkness, she said with pain in her head. Angel? You had an accident, you were missing for a whole day, if it weren't for Murayama who told us where you could be, we wouldn't have heard from you for a few more days, maybe, he said calmly. Catis? Seriously, that's why I have it on my forehead, he said curiously. Angel? Yes, I must assume that the person who produced that strange music was the one who helped you because when I found you under a small ravine, you already had that on your forehead. I just checked you and I'm taking you home, he said calmly. Pats. Thank you, she said blushing. Catis? My little girl, a woman while running from the door of her home to Ella with a man. Catis? Hi mom, she nervous said slowly, while the black-haired boy put her down. Catis? But where were you, why didn't you call us? He said distressed. Angel? Because Ella she had an accident and it seems that she lost consciousness, he said seriously. Catis? You're one of her schoolmates, but how did you find her, she said curiously. Angel? Well, today before they cancelled classes I spoke to Catis's best friend and she told me that she could have gone to the forest to relax because of the stress she had, so I went to look for her in those parts and I found her, but she was unconscious at the bottom of a small ravine, he said seriously. Catis. Thank you for bringing my daughter back, he said while hugging the boy. Angel. No, she has nothing to thank her for, she is my partner and at least I should help to find her and well she is already at home so I am leaving, see you later he said, nervously leaving the place. Catis. Why don't we go inside? I'm hungry. 1 hour later. We see the brunette entering her room after eating something from her and her parents checking her to make sure everything was in order. Catis. What is this? She said curiously as she checked her bag and found the sphere. Angel. You don't remember anything of what happened, the boy's words reached the girl's head. Catis. Maybe I bought it and I don't remember it, but what about this, she said confused while looking at her window, where on the edge was a strange sword with a note tied to it. Note: when evil is reborn and the world is in danger you must use this to help the world. Catis. How strange it is, as if this fits here, she said curiously as she placed the sphere in the hollow of the weapon that began to shine, taking on a new shape. Catis. What the hell? The problems begin. The days have been passing since the meeting between Issei and Angel. The latter has traveled during that time throughout the forest, trying to meet the anthropomorphic wolf, but without any result, while on the other hand, Catis has been practicing with a strange sword that she obtained recently, although it causes her much uncertainty to know who gave it to her. Rias. Angel, could you tell me why you have been so separated from the group these last few days? She said seriously but somewhat worried. Angel. It's nothing, I've just been training more, he said without looking at her. Rias. Because you lie to me, she said angrily. Angel. I'm not lying to you, I've realized that the enemies we've faced have been first Rainer, then Razor and finally Kakabiel. They have always been stronger and I have to do the same, and if that's all I'll leave, he said seriously as he turned around. Asper. Wait senpai, today you promised to help me with my training, said a nervous boy with a very feminine appearance. Angel. It's true, follow me, he said seriously while the boy followed him. Rias. What are you hiding, Angel? 10 minutes later. Gu Forest. We can see both boys staring at each other, while one looked quite serious and the other looked very scared. What they hadn't realized was that someone was watching them. Angel. Well, Gasper, ready, he said seriously while summoning a strange sword. Asper. More or less we could give ourselves some time before starting, he said nervously. Angel. No, he said throwing the sword at the boy who quickly crouched. Asper. No, I wasn't ready, he said nervously. Angel. It's late, he said seriously taking a rock and throwing it with force. Asper. Wait, he was scared, said as his eyes opened and a strange light came out of them. Asper. I did it, I really did it, he said incredulously seeing how the rock that the boy had thrown had stopped in the air. Angel. Yes, we could, he said, holding him by the shoulder and walking past him, taking his sword. Asper. Thanks senpai, he said happily. Angel. Don't thank me yet, you only stopped a rock, that's nothing in combat, we'll continue until you can stop everything around you without any problem, he said seriously while he stood on guard. Asper. Senpai, what are you doing, he said scared. Angel. Get ready because I will attack with everything, he said starting to run against him. Asper. Senpai, wait, I wasn't ready yet, he said nervously. Angel. In a battle the enemies do not stop, he could not continue because he saw a shadow behind a tree launching a dragon shoot. Asper. Senpai nervously said watching the tree fall. Angel. Who are you, show yourself, he said seriously. Catis. Well, it seems I wasn't stealthy enough, she said, coming out in a strange outfit that didn't let her face be seen. Angel. Who are you? He said seriously. Catis. I should be the one asking the questions here, what are they and why can they do things like that, or why do you have a strange weapon on your arm, she said seriously. Angel. I don't have to answer you, but I know that you are an ordinary human being, or rather, not so ordinary. I can feel a strange energy in you, he said seriously while looking into her eyes. Catis. You want to act tough, right? Well, let's make a deal, shall we? She said seriously. Angel. What is it about? He said curiously. Catis. If you win I will show you who I am and any questions you want, but if I win you will answer my questions, okay? She said seriously while taking out her giraffe-shaped sword. Angel. Okay, he said, standing on guard with his sword. Catis. Now screams running towards the boy. What no one realized was that in the crown of a tree somewhat far from the place was Zen Aku observing everything that was happening between the boys. Zen Aku. So the spear of Partalis, how interesting. I guess it was you who helped him awaken his weapon, or am I wrong? He said seriously while looking at his side. Shayla. It seems like you found out, she said calmly while levitating at her side. Zen Aku. I can know why, he said curiously. Shayla. It's not obvious that it will help you in your battle against the org, she said calmly watching the battle. Angel. Damn, she's very good, he said while launching a slash with his sword, which was dodged by the female. Zen Aku. I don't need anyone's help, I can do it alone, he said seriously. Catis. You are not so bad, he said while launching his own attack. Shayla. Don't say that, we are never alone, we always have someone, we simply refuse to accept that they are there. A clear example is that boy. Tell me why you don't try to talk to him, she said curiously. Zen Aku. He hates me after what I did to him, he said seriously. Shale. Do you really believe that? Do you think he spends his time looking for you day after day like a madman just out of hate? She said seriously. Zen Aku. Your reasons are not my priority at the moment, now I must look for the rest of the Wild Zords, he said seriously. Shayla. You don't have to try too hard, there are 3 more signs in the city apart from the girl, she said seriously. Zen Aku. Thanks for the information, he said seriously. Shayla. See you, Issei, remember you are not alone, she said as she faded away. Zen Aku. Do you really believe that? Catis. Let's end this, she said seriously as she took a few steps back, putting her sword in position. Angel. You don't have to tell me, he said seriously as they launched into the attack at the same time. Both boys collided their swords, raising a small smoke screen that lasted little. Since then you could see the two with their swords struggling, trying to win the clash, but their fight stopped because what was covering the girl's face fell, leaving her face exposed. Angel gasped. Catis. The cult club. We can see Rias and her group performing different tasks, but their attention was caught by something that passed quickly through a window. Rias? But what was it? Ooh. A loud explosion sent all the club members flying, while a being with a rather strange appearance appeared from the smoke screen. Rias? Who are you? She said incredulously. My name is Tombstone and I have come here to finish off the demons of this place in the name of my master, he said seriously. Rias? Your master, she confused said. Tombstone, if the great master org. Brett. The black-haired boy was stunned as in front of him was his partner who had recently challenged him to a duel, but now the two of them were face to face. Catis. Oh no, you didn't have to explain me, she said worriedly. Angel Catis, but how cubic when he said confused. Catis. Shut up, you didn't have to know who, she said worried. Angel. Catis, where did you get that weapon? He said confused. Catis. Don't look at me, she said super nervous. Angel. But because he couldn't continue because a magic circle appeared in his ear. Rias. Angel, we need your help, she said upset while explosions were heard. Angel. Rias, what's going on, he said upset while a certain lone wolf listened. Rias. Come immediately, she scared said. Angel. Come on, Gasper, he said seriously as he created a magic circle and began to teleport. Catis. Wait, we're not done yet, she said nervously as she held the boy and began to transport herself with him. Angel. Hey, wait. Zen Aku. You should see what problems they have. The cult club. We can see much of the club destroyed as the strange being launched several fireballs from its eye, while causing chaos in the place, while Rias and her entourage tried to attack it, but it was useless as the strange being contained brutal resistance. Tombstone. Ready to die, he said seriously. Rias. We will stop you, she said angrily. Angel. Rias, what's happening, he said worried seeing all the mess. Kaneko. Catis-senpai, she said confused. Catis. What is that thing, she said nervously. Tombstone. A guardian, he said seriously seeing Catis attacking her. Angel. Be careful, he nervously said activating his armor protecting the brunette and Gasper. Ooh. A loud explosion occurred where the 3 of them were, worrying the Grimoires since they did not know what had happened to their companions, but they felt a little relief seeing Gasper and Catis safe and without a scratch, but they were alarmed seeing the black-haired man with part of his right arm without his armor and with serious injuries. Asia. Angel-san, your arm, she said worriedly. Angel. Haha, you're good, you'll make me test my true strength, he said rebuilding his armor and launching himself to hit him. The black-haired man began to attack with all his strength, causing small shock waves with each blow he landed on the monster, but he only blocked them, and the few he received did not cause any damage. Angel. Let's see if this is your size, friend, he said, creating a large ball of energy with his hands. Zenobia. I defeated him, she said nervously. Bekeno. He should have done it, that attack hit him full on, she said nervously as she watched the smoke dissipate, revealing the being as if nothing had happened. Angel. TSK, you are more resistant than I thought, guys, now, he said seriously summoning Ascalon. He quickly launched himself with his sword followed by Zenobia and Kiba who brought Durandal and the holy demonic sword and began to launch a flurry of cuts that Tombstone did not bother to block, receiving the damage to the point that he stopped the 3 swords with his staff. Tombstone. I think it's my turn now, he said as his eye filled with fire. Catis. You also attacked me so I will too, she said jumping behind him giving him a cut that made him retreat. Tombstone. "Ah damn bearer of the Wild Zord, I will kill you and take your animal crystal," he said seriously. Catis, Crystal and Nima could not continue because a sound was present in the place. Rias. That music. Angels and Aku Issei spoke and thought at the same time. Everyone looked around until the wolf appeared behind some trees, looking closely at Catis and the demons, and then staring at the orc, who seemed somewhat scared. Tombstone. You are the demonic wolf Zen Aku P, but you had died, he said, trying to control himself. Zen Aku. So orgs have finally decided to appear, he said seriously. Rias. Orgs, she said confused. Tombstone. I don't care if you're still alive, I'll finish you off just like these children, and I'll take the animal crystal to the master along with your head, he said seriously, starting to run against him. Zen Aku illusion crescent blade crescent wave, he said seriously, launching several cuts that sent the orc to the ground. Tiba. I managed to knock down the thing from a dock, he said amazed. Zen Aku. You're just trash that should leave this world, he said seriously as he ran against the orc and stabbed his weapon in the chest. Tombstone. Ma damn, you are a threat to our master, and I have to eliminate you, he said, trying to get up. Zen Aku. You're just a piece of scum trying to act tough in your final moments, but that won't do any good, he said seriously as he stabbed his weapon in further until he managed to completely pierce the orc's body. Tombstone. Damn you, he said, turning into a particle. Rias. I defeated him, she said incredulously. Angel. Zen Aku, he said seriously as he watched the wolf walk away. Zen Aku. They must become stronger, the orgs are not a simple street demon that they can defeat, and if they run into one again they better be prepared, he said seriously as he began to walk. Catis. Wait, you were in the forest when I disappeared, she said nervously. Angel. Yes, Catis, he was in the forest because he was the one who helped you before I found you, he said, nervously capturing everyone's attention. Zen Aku. Because he lies, he thought confused. Catis. Yes, she confused said. Angel. Yes, but if I told you, you wouldn't believe me, she told a little calmer. Zen Aku. Kids, he said seriously as he started walking, leaving everyone confused. Rias. Angel, can you explain to me what you did with Catis, she said confused. Angel. It's a very, very long story, and I think that both you and Catis will talk tomorrow after classes at the club, he said seriously while they saw how it began to rain. Rias. Catis. Okay. So everyone left for their homes while the rain and lightning began to lash the entire Ku area and its surroundings, while in the forest, Zen Aku sat on a rock while playing his flute while thinking about the fact that his childhood friend of him had not betrayed him with the girl. Zen Aku. What are you hiding? He couldn't continue because in front of him a kind of mini dragon fell from a tree. Zen Aku. Who are you? He said seriously, watching the miniature dragon looking at him. Angel. He's my relative, he said seriously. Zen Aku. You did it to find me, he said seriously. Angel. Of course, and it's time to talk, he said seriously. Zen Aku. You and I have nothing to talk about, he said seriously, pointing his gun at him. Angel. Of course, Issei. Dragon versus wolf. The rain fell heavily in the forest while the cursed wolf and the Hakuryuuko looked seriously at each other, but more than a fight, one was looking for answers, but on the other hand, the loner wanted to leave the place. Zen Aku. I don't know who you're talking about, he said seriously, looking away. Angel. Don't lie, I saw your face, it's you, Iseeixharem. He couldn't finish the sentence because the wolf spoke. Zen Aku. Don't ever associate me with that family again, furious shout. Angel. I'm sorry, but why did you never come back, why did you never look for us? Do you know how much we suffered because of your loss? Rias was devastated, she said with pain and anger. Zen Aku. And you still ask me to come back after the way those bastards treated me, he said angrily. Angel. I do and apostrophe T mean to come back with it, but with us, you knew very well that Rias wanted you in her family, no matter that you didn't have a sacred gear or anything like that, she said staring at him. Zen Aku. You don't know, do you? He said dryly. Angel. What a thing, he confused said. Zen Aku. That day when they decided to end my life they told me to laugh and you would be very happy with what they were doing, he said seriously. Angel. And you believed them, but how could you be so stupid to believe them that? We searched for you for years. Rias had to go to the underworld because she did nothing but search for you. Her desperation was such that they locked her in her home, and here you come with that nonsense, he said angrily. Zen Aku. That doesn't matter anymore, the boy you once knew as Iseei died a long time ago, he said seriously while turning around. Angel. You won't leave, he said seriously, appearing in front of him. Zen Aku. Your friend is dead, he said euphorically, launching a cut with his weapon, but it was stopped by Ascalon. Angel. You thought I wouldn't be prepared, remember an attack doesn't work twice against the same opponent, he said seriously, launching a cut of his own. Zen Aku. Saint Seiya, but he is not an adversary, he is a knight, he said, beginning to attack with his crescent blade. Angel. You are very good, he said seriously while he had a hard time blocking the wolf's attacks. Zen Aku. You're not doing bad either, he said seriously while both of them, regardless of the weather, fought fiercely. Angel. What else do you have in your arsenal? He said seriously. Zen Aku. Don't challenge me, he said seriously while in a clash of weapons, he managed to grab the boy by the arm and forcefully swung him through the air, slamming him to the ground. Angel. Good one, he said seriously invoking his sacred gear holding the wolf's leg throwing him into the air. Zen Aku. You are more annoying than before, he said seriously as he stood up. Angel. Ready to continue, he couldn't continue because the wolf started to scream. Zen Aku not again, don't go away, screamed in pain. Angel. But what's happening, he said confused. Greg. I don't know, but he acts like the last time when he attacked you, he said confused. Zen Aku. Get out, I do T know how long I can control myself, he shouted as his eyes became sharper. Angel. Control, he couldn't continue because Zen Aku launched himself at him, giving him a strong blow that sent him flying, breaking several trees in the process. Zen Aku. I told you that when we saw each other again I would kill you, he said seriously while placing his sword on the boy's neck. Angel. It's not the same, I thought with difficulty. Greg. We have to do something, he said nervously. Zen Aku last words, he said seriously. Angel. I won't fall so easily, he said invoking his balance breaker moving at a higher speed. Zen Aku. Damn, you still had those tricks up your sleeve, he said seriously as they both began a fight at high speed. Angel. I told you it won't be easy, he said giving him a headbutt that stunned the wolf because part of his helmet hit the wolf's horn. Zen Aku. Crescent blade, crescent wave, he said furiously, his launching cut hitting the boy who lost his armor, leaving only the gauntlet. Angel. Drake said alarmed, beginning to dodge the wolf's attacks. Drake. It seems that his attack cut off the magic power of the armor and only allows us to have the sacred gear, he said incredulously. Angel. Damn, he did something to us like the damn phoenix, he said nervously. Zen Aku. It's your end, he said seriously giving a strong blow with his weapon that crashed the boy with a rock. Angel. Ma damn, I won't die here, I won't do it, he said trying to get back up. Zen Aku. Say goodbye, he said while raising his weapon ready to finish off the boy. Angel. I will not die, he said forcefully while a strange silhouette of a lion mixed with his image of him making the wolf retreat. Shayla. The lion said from the trees. Angel. What is this? He said confused, seeing a strange sphere in his hand. Greg. It's the same as that girl Catis, he said seriously. Angel. You're right, he said alarmed dodging another attack from the wolf. Zen Aku. Now more than ever I will finish you off, guardian of the crystal, he said seriously. Shayla. Use this, she said seriously throwing a sword similar to the one she gave to Catis. Angel. Who are you? He said confused. Shayla. There is no time if you want to help Issei place the sphere on the sword, she said seriously. Angel. Understood, he said seriously while he followed the instructions so that at that moment the sword transformed into a strange red lion head in his right hand. Angel. But what the heck, he said confused. Greg. Don't waste time and attack, he said seriously. Zen Aku. You don't scare me, he said seriously starting to fight with the boy, but now it was different because the blow that the black-haired man gave him with his right hand caused him great damage. Shayla. Separate your head into two and attack it, she said nervously. Angel. Alright, let's go, he said as he began to run against the wolf, separating its head into two, the lower part in his left hand and the upper part in his right, causing both to show two fangs and catch fire. Angel. Burning fang, he said determinedly while simulating a lion's bite but with his hands. Zen Aku damn, that hurt me, but it won't be enough to stop. The wolf screamed again as the rain ended and the sky cleared. Angel. What's happening? He said confused. Shayla. The moon, she said seriously while the black-haired man looked at the sky seeing the new moon. Angel. The moon, that's yours, he couldn't continue because Zen Aku shined returning to his human form. Shayla. He's unconscious, she said calmly as she approached him. Angel. Wait, what are you doing? He said curiously, looking at the woman. Shayla. I'll take him to heal him and so he can rest. Losing control ends up exhausting him, she said calmly. Angel. He doesn't control his powers, he said amazed. Shayla. Not at all, she said calmly. Angel. Wait before you go, give me a few minutes, he nervously said, invoking a notebook and a pen. Shayla. What's wrong? She said curiously. Angel. Give me a minute, he said while writing something on the paper and then cutting the sheet and folding it, giving it to the woman. Shayla. A letter, she said curiously. Angel. Give it to him when he is conscious, he said calmly. Shayla. I will. The next day. Animarium. On a floating island we can see the chestnut lying on a strange bed while he slowly opened his eyes, suddenly standing up looking everywhere. Shayla. You woke up sleepyhead, she said curiously. Issei. What happened, where are we? What happened with the fight in Angel? Is he okay? He said confused. Shayla. Calm down, we're in the animarium, and I think the fight was a draw, and the boy is fine, after all, he had the power of the red lion stored inside him, she said calmly. Issei. He is a guardian, he said confused. Shayla. It seems so, and thanks to the fact that you cut off his magic power he was able to free it. By the way, I'm leaving you this, she said, giving him the letter. Issei. A letter, he said as he began to read. Issei, I understand that it is very difficult for you to see us again, the pain remains latent in your memory, but I know that deep down you are still the same kind boy, and above all I know that it is difficult for you to go through not knowing how to control your power. Maybe that is one of your reasons for not coming back, since the idea of hurting us terrifies you, but I know that you will succeed, I believe in you, and when the time comes you and I will fight again, but this time without holding back, okay? Bad Angel. P.S. Never give up, friend. Shayla. You're okay, she said curiously, watching a small tear run down the boy's cheek. Issei. Better than ever. Secrets and prospects. 2 days have passed since the meeting between Issei and Angel. Since that day, the black-haired boy has been seen to be calmer and happier, causing doubts in his companions as they wondered what had happened, although they still had the small problem that Catis had seen them fight against that thing that Zen Aku called Org. Angel. I think it's time to talk to her, don't you think, Butchu? He said calmly as he watched the brunette enter the place. Catis. Good morning, I said politely. Rias. Good morning, Catis, she said calmly. Catis. I'll get straight to the point. I'd like to know what you are, she said somewhat nervously. Rias. Before that I would like to know how you found out that we are not humans, she curious said. Catis. Well, the truth is I owe it to this, she said seriously, showing the orange sphere and the strange saber, while the black-haired boy opened his eyes seriously. Rias. With that strange sword, she said curiously. Catis. That's right, the day I got lost in the forest when I entered my room, I found this strange sword with a message that said, when evil is reborn and the world is in danger, you must use this to help the world, and by inertia, I placed the sphere in the hollow of the sword, and this happened, he said, well the sword took the shape with which he fought against the org. Rias. She changed her form, she said confused. Catis. And that's not all, when I get close to one of you or someone from the student council, the sphere starts to flicker, that led me to follow you until before the attack of that thing, I found Angel Senpai and Vladi-kun in the forest training, and I saw that you are not what you seem, she said somewhat intrigued. Rias. I see, and since I see that you have some strange weapon, there is nothing left to do but talk. Catis. We are demons, she said seriously, while taking out her wings like the rest of her entourage. Catis. Holy crap, he said in shock. Rias. It is correct, in fact the city of Ku is the territory of 2 demonic clans, the Gremory, my family, and the Citri, Sona's family, she said seriously. Catis. And Sona Kaichu too, she said incredulously. Rias. Yes, and in fact it's not just us, there are also angels, the fallen and other factions related to the different cultures that exist in the world, she said seriously. Catis. He's serious, she said incredulously. Rias. It's correct, there are even fantasy beings like dragons, and in fact you have one at your side, she said calmly, while the girl looked at the black-haired man. Angel. Calm down, he's not referring to me, but to the being that I keep inside me, and that you've actually seen, he said calmly, while invoking his sacred gear. Dreg, nice to meet you, miss. Let me introduce myself. I am Dreg, the Red Dragon Emperor, he said calmly from the green gem. Catis. Well, all this is hard to believe, she said incredulously. Rias. I know, and that's why I would like you to keep this a secret, or you would like to be a demon, she said curiously. Angel. I think we should wait a little while for him to assimilate all this, don't you think, Butchu? Then when he understands everything better, he will be able to make a better decision about whether to become a supernatural or not, he said thoughtfully. Rias. I think so, Catis, I'm sorry for being so impulsive, but I would like to ask you the favor of not saying anything, she said calmly. Catis. Okay, I'll do it, she said calmly as she stood up and walked away. Dreg. Because you didn't allow your mistress to have another piece in her entourage, he said curiously. Angel. I don't know why, but Catis's strange weapon and mine have a certain relationship, he thought seriously. Dreg. You say that because both are a colored sphere that joins a sword, but yours becomes a lion's head and hers becomes a sword, he said calmly. Angel. I'm not saying this for that reason, but for the fact that if what she said is true and that power is to save the world, it's more than clear that Catis must retain her humanity to help humans, he thought seriously. Dreg. You're right about that, although I'm surprised that an unknown power falls into the hands of any faction, although well, the demons already have it in for you, he said seriously. Angel. I know, but that's why I'll keep him in the sector until I know why we have this power, he thought seriously. Greg. And how do you plan to find out, he curiously said. Angel. There is only one person who can help me. Miriam. We can see the chestnut tree looking from the top of a mountain at the beautiful landscape that occurred in those places. Well, for the first time in his mind, body and heart, he could feel peace, a peace he had never felt in years. Shayla. How are you? She said curiously, appearing behind him. Issei. I'm fine, he said calmly. Shayla. You know, now that I've seen you in the place where you were born, I realize that you don't lose control because of having to meet those who share blood ties with you, but rather you lose control out of fear that those you called friends will get hurt because of you, she said calmly but staring at the brown-haired boy. Issei. Do you really think so? He said curiously. Shayla. Yes, and I can see that now. What scares you is seeing that girl you carry in your heart again. You were able to make peace with your best friend in a strange way. Now only she remains, she said calmly. Issei. And according to your theory, when I do it I will be able to master all the power without losing control, he said curiously. Shayla. Maybe, but for now you must return to Ku, she said seriously. Issei. Because, he curiously said. Shayla. Thanks to the fact that 2 Wild Zords have awakened and were able to feel more energy in that city, she said seriously. Issei. And at least you have an idea of who it could be, he said curiously. Shayla. I'm glad you asked that question. I have 3 possible people. Now that the animal energy has been released, it's a little easier to detect them, she said calmly while taking 3 photos. Issei. It's them, he said looking at the 3 images. Shayla. Possibly, she said calmly while watching the boy transform. Zen Aku. Time to hunt. Unknown location. We can see a woman in strange attire walking through a rocky place while lamenting and complaining to herself. I can't believe that the master sent me to look for those strange energies of the guardians in this city, said the woman angrily as she reached the top looking at the city of Ku. Too toxic, I hope you don't fail, told me a voice that came from a strange circle of communications. Toxica. I won't do it, I love org. Friendly jealousy. Things had calmed down a bit since the talk between Catis and the Grimory. Now the girl had become a little closer to them, confusing her friend a lot, who was beginning to feel a little jealous, seeing how Catis slowly left her aside to be with others, which also made her very sad. Catis. Hello Murayama, she said happily as she sat next to him. Murayama. Oh, now you remember me, she said a little annoying. Catis. Hey, what are you talking about? She said confused. Murayama. Don't play dumb, you've been spending the last few days at the occult club. It's obvious that they are your friends, she said with disgust. Catis. Hey, just because I got closer to them does N''T mean I'm forgetting about you, she said, a little annoyed by her friend's reproaches from her. Murayama. Yes, of course, whatever you say, she said seriously as she stood up and left, leaving the girl sad. Catis. I really did something wrong. The girl just lowered her head while looking at her lunch that she planned to share with her best friend, but now she seemed not to want to see her, but all this was seen by a black-haired man who with his developed ears, heard everything, feeling a little angry at his partner's attitude. Greg. Something's up, buddy, he said curiously in the boy's mind. Angel. I think I'll talk a little with Murayama, he said seriously. Greg. You think it will be best not to let Catis fix this, he said curiously. Angel. Murayama is very proud and I know that Catis will not be able to achieve much from her unless she agrees with her, he said seriously. Greg. I see, so I wish you luck, he said calmly. Angel. Thanks mate. 7 hours later. We can see Rias with her entourage of Ella minus the black-haired man, talking about their contracts of Ella among other things, but their little meeting was interrupted by Sona, whom they had not seen since the defeat in the raiding game. Rias. Sona, how can I help you? She said seriously. Sona. I came to tell you that things won't change much after the raiding game, and in a couple of days there will be a faction meeting here at the academy, she said seriously. Rias. I see, thanks for the information, and I already knew that things don't change. Your pride is so great that it doesn't let you see how things change and accept your mistakes, she said seriously, while the brunette got angry at the girl's comment. Sona. Whatever you say, she said angrily as she left the place. Rias. I thought that after this things would change. Streets of Ku. We can see Murayama leaving a store with some things while she looked somewhat upset since she still remembered everything that happened with her friend Ella during the academy break. Murayama. Well, I have everything, and she couldn't continue because a voice interrupted her. Angel. Murayama, said the boy seriously. Murayama. It's you, he said without importance. Angel. I want to talk to you about Catis, he said seriously. Murayama. Catis oh do an apostrophe t tell me she went crying to the club after what happened during the break, she said seriously. Angel. Not at all, I heard how you treated her myself. I can't believe you treat your best friend like that, he said with disappointment. Murayama. Ex-best friend because now she is your friend, right, she said angrily. Angel. How can you say that about her? She approached us to help her with some things at school so she could raise her grades, he said angrily while clenching his fists. Murayama. Yes, of course, and I don't believe it, she said seriously. Angel. Damn, put aside your pride for once and react, she's just trying to raise her grades with our advice, and you can ask anyone in the club, plus she's always shown us the beautiful friendship she has with you and how bad she felt when you thought it was your fault she had disappeared, he said angrily while the girl opened her eyes. Murayama. That's what he said with regret. Angel, do you think I would stand here just to lie, Catis said in shock. Murayama. Catis said she was confused as she turned around and watched as the girl was grabbed by a strange shadow and taken into a warehouse. Angel, Murayama, Catis, the two shouted as they started running. Issei. What was that? He said seriously as he watched from afar as the girl was kidnapped by a strange being. Catis. Damn you, let me go, she said nervously trying to free herself. Demon. Look, master, I brought a good catch, said a renegade with the appearance of an insect. Alpha Demon. Wow, she's very cute, I think we'll have fun with her first, Ella, and then we'll devour her, said the leader demon, while two other demons at his side Ella began to laugh. Catis. No, let me go, get away from her, she said nervously while one of them tore her clothes. Dragon shoot, a voice resounded loudly as a powerful beam of energy shot out, hitting the demon and killing it instantly. Alpha Demon. Who are you? He said furiously. Angel. Damn renegades, I'll kill them, he said seriously. Demon. Oh, but if he is a demon who still serves his master, how sweet is it to kill him, he said seriously, while those who were at his side launched themselves against the black-haired man. Angel. Let's go, he said seriously as he launched himself against the two demons. Murayama. Calm down, Catis, I'll help you, she said nervously as she came out of a hiding place and freed her friend. Catis. What are you doing here is dangerous, she said nervously. Murayama. I don't know what's going on, but I'll do what I can, she said nervously. Catis thanks, be careful, she screamed seeing how the alpha appeared next to her friend. Murayama. Catis screamed worriedly watching her friend being hit by the demon. Angel. Damn, I have to finish them off quickly. Alpha Demon. Haha, double prize, I'm going to enjoy it, he said amused. Murayama. No, don't come closer, I won't nervously let you hurt her, she said. Alpha Demon. Cuteness, as if you could do something, he said, creating a small sphere of energy throwing it at the girl. Angel, Catis, Murayama, they shouted worriedly. Murayama. I won't let you hurt my friend, she said determinedly. After saying that, a huge yellow glow covered the girl, blinding everyone, but what no one saw was that something hit the sphere and destroyed it, leaving a sword next to the girl. Murayama. What happened, what is this? She said nervously while looking at a strange yellow sphere in her hand. Angel. That's it, he said incredulously. Catis. Murayama, the sword on the ground places that sphere in the hole, she said nervously, while the girl nodded and quickly picked up the sword and placed the crystal in the place. Murayama. But what is this? She said confused seeing how the sword had changed, becoming a new one. Issei. The eagle, how interesting. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching, if you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day, bye.